Okay, am I live now? There I am. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Um, should we play some Cold War? Do-do-do-do. Do-do. I'm out. Is that so? Hmm. Okay, I don't hear the music. I hear the music. Hmm. What the hell, dog? What the hell? Audio. Yo, Mr. Snuggle, what's up? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh. I don't know how that fucking works. Excuse me. Yeah, they put that in your face. I don't know if I want another WW2 game. We'll see. That's cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. It's like a Viking. Helmet looks pretty sweet. That's a knight skin. Why do they have a Viking ship if it's a knight? Well, that's confusing. Mind fry. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's dope.
Grab some target practice while you can. We're deploying.
Oh shit.
Enemy soldiers incoming.
Oh, I missed.
Enemy soldier incoming. Enough practice. Time for the real thing. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
That was fun. I'll cut the music off. I wish the colors and stuff were more defined, a little more colorful.
Gas is closing on your position. Suggest you get moving. done. Enemy target has been marked. Kill him.
No, not lag. Oh my god. Da-da-da.
Gas is closing in.
It's lag so much.
Hands up. Objective failed.
Oh my god.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I'm not playing this. I'm not playing with the lag. What am I gonna play now? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what I want to play. I don't know. All right, let's turn back on the music, I guess. Fill the void. Hmm. I don't want to play Apex. Mm-mm. All right, let's see. It's the real chill. I don't know. Get. Let's do some reactions. You say. that down.
Hello
So.
everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. Today we are watching episode 4 of What If? What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead
So
of
this is such a good
hands?
episode.
I don't know what that means. It sounds like he might become a villain in this storyline. I don't know. I've really been enjoying the series so far. We're 3 episodes in. If you haven't watched already, make sure you check out our reactions and reviews to the other episodes. How are we feeling going into this one?
So What If has really surpassed any, I guess, negative feelings I've had with regards to animated series. I've really enjoyed it a lot. I think so far episode 2 has been my favorite, but this one is about Doctor Strange, which I'm really excited about because I really enjoy Doctor Strange. If it is him being a villain, that's like right up my alley. So we'll have to check it out, but very, very impressed by the series. Really excited to see how this continues to progress because it's been really good so far.
Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters, especially of Phase 3. He's really become one of my top new Avengers now. So I am really excited to see what they're gonna do in this episode too. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. What If? Episode 4. Benedict Cumberbatch. I got Rachel McAdams too, wow.
I am the Watcher.
The Creeper returns!
Evening, handsome. You promised me creme brulee.
It sounds
Me.
like you, yeah.
Come on, I know you prepared something. You wouldn't just wing it. It's just me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow doctors.
I would call that quite remarkable.
Well, I would say the same about you.
I love the animation. Looks amazing.
Oh my goodness.
No, Christine.
Oh, jeez.
In this universe,
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Manipulation and alteration of timelines. Time travel. Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Stephen Strange could not let go of the past.
How long has it been? 2 years tonight.
Evening, handsome.
I think I might have just had a mild cardiac event.
A heart. Have you ever even seen a game show?
Maybe you make me happy.
Well, this is shaping up to be a night to remember.
Jeez.
No, not again. No!
If he's going back, why did he even go on the road at all?
Evening.
I guess he thought it was like, well, maybe if I just put my blinker on.
Oh, we missed our turn. Isn't the bridge that way?
Taking a different route.
Every time. This reminds me of the Time Machine remake with Guy Pearce. He kept going back to try and save the woman he loved, but no matter how
I
he
feel like
changed
there's
it,
a couple movies like that because I'm also having some deja vu.
yeah, no matter what he did, he couldn't stop her from dying.
Oh gosh.
Including the death of one Dr. Christine Palmer.
That's frustrating. Imagine having all that power, you still can't stop it.
Aren't we allowed to be happy? I only want you. You're the only thing that matters.
Good evening, Dr. Strange. Are you having car trouble?
Why are you here?
To help you? So overwhelmed by loss, you will seek answers in the mystic arts. Her death is an absolute point in time. Unchangeable.
Unchangeable.
Would never have defeated Dormammu
Absolute
and
sweet.
become the Sorcerer Supreme. If you erase her death, you never start your journey.
Nothing is impossible. You taught me that. I only require more power.
Christine is gone. You cannot save her. Please, do not do this, or I will be forced to stop you.
You'd have to find me first. I'm looking for the lost library of Cagliostro. Quite the welcome. I've come here for Sorcerer Cagliostro. He knew how to break an absolute point in time. Time manipulation. Bingo. The power required to break an absolute point in time is immense. Gain the power through the absorption of other beings.
Oh, is that the squid monster from the first episode?
I need to borrow your powers. Those
Is she worth the pain?
Every moment of it.
There is a fine line between devotion and delusion.
If they won't surrender their power, I'll take it.
Oh, jeez.
Is that one of the Keebler elves?
I have the power to make cookies beyond your wildest dreams.
Okay.
Phoenix? Oh, wow. Oh, I like it.
More.
More power.
Oh.
He's on the wrong path. But the fate of his universe is not worth risking the safety of all others.
This is very intense.
It's also a scene from the Time Machine.
And goodbye.
Juicy.
Yeah, now you get really dark there.
What happened to you?
This guy's just been
Time.
letting him do this the whole time,
Sorcerer
too.
Armani. You use magic to remain frozen for centuries.
But I can reverse this. You will live longer.
Death is part of the plan.
I can't accept that.
He wasn't even the only Doctor Strange in this universe.
Enough living in the past for one evening. What was in that whiskey? You're...
Dead? Yes. A psychic impression sent through a splinter in reality. Just think of me as an echo.
Then who's causing this?
You are. You used the eye and vanished into the past. Split the timeline.
I'm looking for the lost library. Enough living in the past for one evening. And now I have an evil twin?
More like misguided.
The fabric of reality is breaking, and only you can stop it because you are causing it.
That's crazy.
The protection spell.
Knowing me, I'll need it.
Oh, that's not great.
Nope, it's not. Where am I? When are you? For we are one and the same.
Oh my goodness.
I needed you alone. No need for Wong or the Ancient One. You loved her. You can't bring her back.
Can't bring her back.
I spent centuries, sacrificed everything. And now can you save her?
We can.
Our powers are diluted, split between us. We can't save her.
Piccolo
We
and Kami.
can't. If we save Christine, we destroy the world. This is arrogance. This is our need to fix everything. I will be whole again. You can't save her!
Oh, nice. Uh-oh. Oh. Jeez.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine, maybe your son, a father, or your boyfriend. In which case, it's really a gift for yourself, ladies and gents. Manscaped, and their new performance package. This all-in-one kit that
Nobody cares.
It's so good to see you. Stephen, you promised me creme brulee. We can be together again.
It's a trick, Strange.
I wish that was true, but you're not her.
He's punching the protective spells off of himself.
But we
Kind of reminds me of like a Dracula.
It reminds me of Jafar.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Gosh. He's gonna bring her back, and then she's gonna be like, "Ooh, no."
Christine. It's me, Christine.
Oh my god.
The monster.
You'll get used to it.
I can fix this.
Oh god.
What is going on?
You can stop this.
Well, he can see the Watcher.
You were warned.
The world shouldn't pay for my arrogance.
I'm not a god, and neither are you. Honestly, if I could fix this, if I could punish you instead, I would.
Christine. Oh no.
Stephen, what did you do?
No.
One life, one choice, can destroy the entire universe.
Wow. Straight up destroyed everything. Just finished the Doctor Strange episode. Curious your thoughts on this one.
This is definitely the most powerful What If episode. It's definitely my favorite so far. Doctor Strange's story prior to this episode kind of hits you where it is. To kind of see them extend that storyline, but obviously in an alternate version, I really, really enjoyed a lot. Very, very dark, which is right up my alley. Interesting to see Christine be the victim, just seeing how he dealt with that. I also noticed that there was like more interaction with the Watcher. I like how the Ancient One basically split him in two, the good Doctor Strange, and then you had the villain Doctor Strange. Even though he wasn't a villain. You got to see those two pretty much come to a head, which that last scene of them just kind of going at it, oh my gosh, I don't think I said much during the entire episode, just because I was so glued to what was happening. For me, like, they did a really great job of capturing like his anguish. I mean, he was literally doing anything that he could.
There's no preparation for that level of fame.
We were so young.
Feel it. A thinning deep in the fabric. This neighborhood got caught in a loop.
Based on Clive Barker's short story, The Forbidden, Nia DaCosta's Candyman, written by her, Jordan Peele, and Win Rosenfeld, is a direct continuation of Bernard Rose's 1992 film of the same name, starring Tony Todd as the titular spirit of vengeance. While Barker's original story focused on the British class system in contemporary Liverpool, Rose transposed the adaptation to revolve around the neglected housing developments in Chicago. Put simply, Candyman is a manifestation of generational pain and injustice, and these are his calling card.
Come with me and be immortal.
In the original film, we follow Helen, a graduate student completing a thesis on urban legends and folklore, as well as their connection to a string of crimes that have haunted the Cabrini Green housing development for years. This leads her to the legend of the Candyman, the ghost of an artist and the son of a slave who was murdered for his relationship with a white woman that she bears a striking resemblance to.
The legend first appeared in 1890. Candyman was the son of a slave, that he was commissioned by a wealthy landowner to capture his daughter's virginal beauty. Well, of course, they fell deeply in love, and she became pregnant. Father executed a terrible revenge.
After being caught, his arm was severed, and his body was smeared with honeycomb taken from an apiary, leading to his death by a swarm of bees before he was set alight. While Helen initially dismisses the historical accuracy of the legend, she ends up discovering that Candyman is in fact real. Summoned after someone repeats the name Candyman 5 times in front of a mirror, his invoked spirit appears in the reflection and kills whoever spoke his name.
You are not content with the stories, so I was obliged to come.
Worse still, the spirit torments her to madness and begins committing heinous murders that Helen gets institutionalized for.
I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without these things, I am nothing. So now I must shed innocent blood. Come with me.
The Candyman then offers her a trade. He will release a baby named Anthony that he'd planned on sacrificing, provided she helped him strike fear in the hearts of Cabrini Green residents, but soon goes back on his word, hoping to burn both Helen and Anthony in an attempt to feed his legend. Helen ultimately betrays Candyman and sacrifices her life to save Anthony, and through her death, becomes a part of the Candyman Hive folklore.
What's the matter, Trevor?
Much like David Gordon Green's Halloween, the newer century disregards the sequels and inserts itself as a direct follow-up. In it, we follow Anthony McCoy, now an adult, working as an artist in the gentrified Cabrini Green. Curiously, much like Candyman prior to his death, Anthony was moved from Cabrini Green to the south side of Chicago, where his mother hoped to erase their history. But after a curious encounter with the legend, his future and past collide, leaving a trail of bodies in their wake. Living and working with his girlfriend, Brianna Cartwright, an art gallery director, the visual artist becomes obsessed about the legend of a child that was saved from the flames, unaware that the child in the story was him. Due to the fact that an understanding of the original film is necessary to follow this plot, the film inserts some interesting shadow puppet sequences to help fill in the gaps. Looking for inspiration on the myth, Anthony investigates the neighborhood and bumps into William Burke, a laundrette owner that introduces him to the story of Candyman. As a child, Burke had a terrifying encounter with a hook-handed man named Sherman that the police were after for putting razor blades in candy and giving it to children. Alerting the police to his location, Burke watched on as they beat Sherman to death. But when more children began receiving candy with razor blades, everyone in Cabrini Green realized that it was Candyman all along. Anthony uses this story as inspiration for an art installation, but much to his dismay, the piece doesn't attract much buzz. That is, until Brianna's co-workers say Candyman's name 5 times and are slaughtered right in front of Anthony's work. Now in the collective psyche of a number of people who decide to test the myth, including a group of teenage girls, one of whom had visited the installation the night before, and an art critic, Candyman reappears and kills them using his hook. While this is happening, Anthony, whose paintings become more macabre, begins to undergo a physical metamorphosis as a result of a bee sting he suffered in Cabrini Green. Visiting the hospital to treat the scab that was mysteriously spreading over his body, he's informed that his mother had lied about his place of birth. Confronting her, Anthony learns that he was the child from the story that had possessed him, and then reveals that Helen had saved his life, and the community had vowed never to speak of what had happened, an act that had weakened the Candyman's power, until Anthony's curiosity paved the way for his return. Concerned about Anthony, Brianna heads to the laundrette, but is subdued by Burke and taken to an abandoned church, where Anthony's body continues to deteriorate. Burke reveals that not only did he witness the police beat Sherman to death, but he also witnessed Sherman return as Candyman to butcher his older sister when she summoned him in the bathroom mirror of their apartment. Sawing off Anthony's right arm and replacing it with a hook, he explains that his plan is to create a new legend, one in which Candyman is an instrument of vengeance rather than a symbol of pain and suffering. To this end, he calls the police and reveals their location, knowing full well that they would kill Anthony, thereby enabling him to become a part of the Candyman hive, like Helen and Sherman before him. Brianna escapes and stabs Burke to death before Anthony is shot to death by the police. Cuffing her and putting her in the back of a car, one of the officers tries to intimidate her into agreeing that Anthony had attacked them, but she uses the rearview mirror to summon Anthony, now the Candyman, who kills all the officers. With more cops arriving, Anthony takes on the appearance of Tony Todd's Candyman and tells Brianna to tell everyone, ensuring his spirit lives on. The ending essentially confirms that Tony Todd's Candyman is the original man behind the myth, and not another extension like Anthony, Helen, and Sherman, who through their actions have strengthened the legend. To me, Candyman sort of exists as an intergenerational reminder of violence and injustice. While his actions are extreme, his legend safeguards the story of so many who, like him, had nobody to save them from the wretches of society. In the end, Burke's plan, which intentionally mirrors the intent of the filmmakers, succeeded in transforming Candyman from a spirit that preyed on his own community to one that protected it. Carrying the legacy of Rose's 1992 film, DaCosta's movie gives us another twisted addition to the hive, while paving the way for Todd's return.
It's not just about entertainment value, it's also about making something that's going to be important, making something that's going to cause you to think and cause you to have conversations, similarly to the way I guess Anthony would like for his art to speak to the world.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II of Watchmen and Aquaman fame is a force in this. He's got this burgeoning intensity and charm that make him the perfect vessel to portray a tortured artist on the verge of madness. The addition of Tony Todd, Vanessa Williams, the actress who played Anthony's mother in the original film and has not aged a damn day since, and the voice of Virginia Madsen also helped tether this film to the core ethos of the legend.
The story of Candyman is so perennial, and that's part of the reason why it's exciting to tell it in any time period. From the origin of the story itself in the context of the first film, in the 1890s to now, what we're talking about, I think, is the cycles of violence and how history repeats itself and how we collectively grieve and collectively process trauma, which is through stories. So I think it's always a time to tell a story like Candyman, which is, kind of the big tragedy of the tale in the first place.
DaCosta, who's set to take on the upcoming film The Marvels, does an amazing job of crafting a highly effective and thought-provoking thriller that embraces the body horror of the legend and the cultural milieu that he inhabits. He's a cyclical urban legend for the ages, a spirit of vengeance, the Candyman.
The Candyman.
That's all for today, folks. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys thought of the film in the comments below. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Um. No, X-Men should not be separate from the MCU, you idiot. Oh, there's nothing to do. SWAT Cats. I love that cartoon.
You've seen us go to a lot of places where family was being
The origins of the Ouija board are just as mysterious as the board itself, but ever since the first ones were created, these boards have been wreaking havoc on those who dare try and contact the other side. From a demon who is able to turn heads, to a demon who disguised itself as someone's late mother, all the way to the most infamous Ouija board demon out there. What is up, Top 10 fam? Welcome back to another creepy, spooky video. I'm your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and we are going to be diving straight into today's list, the the top 10 scary Ouija board demons you should never summon. Proceed at your own risk. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Mo. This story comes from an anonymous source, but we'll call them Taylor. Taylor and their fiance, who we'll call Sam, were given a Ouija board that their friend had apparently found on the side of the road, which I feel like is the worst place to find a new Ouija board. Taylor and Sam decided to use it one night and began to ask questions. They asked who was with them and if they were an angel, demon, or spirit. It replied that their name was Mo and that they were a demon by your creation. Taylor and Sam were obviously freaked out and just asked a few more simple questions like, what is your favorite poster of ours on the wall? Mo replied with bloody mess. Taylor and Sam had a kiss photo with Gene Simmons on it.
Bloody mess. I
Taylor
grab
pointed
something
to
to drink
that
real quick.
poster and asked, this one? Mo said yes. Taylor and Sam had a few skeleton heads that sat on their TV, so they asked Mo to move the skeleton heads so that they could have proof that Mo was real. Mo said to close their eyes, so they did. A few seconds later, all of the skulls on the TV had moved to be facing them. Only Sam and Taylor were in the room at the time, and they had been sitting right next to each other, which would have made it impossible for them to be playing a prank on one another. In our number 9 spot today, we have Foul. One day when this Reddit user was around 16 years old, they found a real old school wooden Ouija board at a thrift store. I probably would have run in the opposite direction, but they ended up purchasing it. Later that evening, they and a friend decided to try it out and asked a few questions, but never got a response. They of course got bored and left the board out on the bed and headed out of the house to go and get some snacks, which was a big old mistake. Never leave a Ouija board without saying goodbye. When they got back, they realized that the planchette was now moving, but completely on its own. The word foul was being spelled out over and over again, and the two just stared at it in absolute awe. Eventually, they grabbed the board, broke it, and covered it with salt before they got rid of it in a safe place. I definitely think that this experience was probably the last time they ever used a Ouija board, and I hope the salt was enough to keep the demon at bay. In our number 8 spot today, we have X. Listen, a demon is never a good thing, but a demon named X actually sounds kinda cool. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the people who contacted him through a Ouija board might disagree with me, however. This Ouija board story starts a couple months after the storyteller's mom had passed away. She was at a friend's house one night and passed out after a few too many drinks, and later awoke to find her friends playing with a Ouija board. The friends were in tears and were claiming that her mother was trying to contact them through the board. The storyteller hadn't ever used a Ouija board before and wasn't really sure if she believed in it, but she agreed to at least check out what they were saying, if for anything, to prove them wrong. As she moved over to the board, the presence claimed again to be her mom and spelled out XOXOXO, which was what her mother always ended text messages with. Okay, this sounds like a really nice Ouija board experience so far, right? Suddenly, they all felt a different energy throughout the whole room. This energy was heavy, and whatever this energy was, it took over the board. They asked its name, and the entity said X. They asked when it was born, and it moved the planchette to 0. After this, they saw a beam of light shoot from the wall and into the storyteller's eye. No one knew what was happening, so they all finished the session, closed the board up, and vowed to never touch it again. In our number 7 spot today, we have Damien. One day, a woman named Abby had been playing around with a Ouija board for a while and ended up contacting an otherworldly presence who said their name was Damien. Once she was finished asking her questions, she packed up the board and put it away. That night, as she was getting ready for bed, she noticed that her computer screen changed from black to blue, which meant that it had been turned on somehow when she hadn't touched it. She turned the computer off again, and it once again turned itself on. This is already super strange and creepy, but she chalked it up to some glitch and just unplugged the computer. The computer, of course, somehow begins to start up again, even though it was unplugged. Abby ended up burying the Ouija board in her backyard, and hopefully that works, but I'm feeling a little worried that Abby didn't close her session and say goodbye properly, and maybe Damien is still lurking around there somewhere. In our number 6 spot today, we have Shush. Two friends decided that one night they would try their hand at a Ouija board. They weren't exactly familiar with the whole process, but they decided to give it a whirl regardless. They tried for a little bit to ask some questions, but weren't really getting many answers, so they decided to return to the top and try asking just a few more. They asked if anyone was there that would like to answer some questions for them, and as it turns out, whoever was listening at that point had had enough. The planchette immediately moved to no. The friends thought this was finally their chance chance to talk with someone from the other side, so they pushed further and decided to ask more questions despite the answer they had just received. The presence, of course, didn't like this and just simply wanted to be left alone. This is when the presence decided to take hold of the planchette and spell out S-H-U-S-H. Yup. Shush. After this, the friends said that the room felt considerably colder, and they decided that they better not stick around to find out what happens if they chose not to listen to what this presence just asked of them. I gotta say, that was probably for the best. In our number 5 spot today, we have Joe. Joe isn't necessarily the first name that comes to mind when making a list of spooky demons, but this story that was posted on Reddit might just make me think differently. They explained that a few months ago, one of their friends brought over a Ouija board. There were around 5 of them at this sleepover, and they all began playing around with it and asking questions, and that is when they met Joe. After about an hour of questions and answers with Joe, one of the girls asked, "Joe, are you a bad spirit?" Joe answered, "N-O." Okay. That's good. But then Joe spelled out H-I-M. The girls asked him who he was talking about, and that's when he spelled out the words, "He's coming." That ended up being the end of the Ouija board experience for the girls that night because how terrifying. But they decided in the morning to try again. This time they began speaking to someone who apparently claimed to be Joe's wife. They asked her if Joe was a bad spirit, to which she quickly replied, Y-E-S. In our number 4 spot today, we have Ed. A girl named Tammy and her sister used to mess around with Ouija boards when they were bored as teenagers, which sounds like the perfect plot of a B-roll horror film. Every time the pair used the board, they always came into contact with the same spirit who was named Ed. Ed wasn't horrible to the girls, but he would often threaten the girls' little brother, despite the fact that he was not playing with a board with them. It scared the girls
Alright, I'm done for the night.
so much that
Have a good one.
board out.
Later.